You ever see someone so cocky that you just know the universe is about to humble them hard? Picture this, a sun-drenched training ground in the Philippines. Palm trees swaying, the air thick with humidity and tension. A squad of elite Italian COMSUBIN operators. Those guys who look like they stepped straight out of an action movie. All chiseled jaws, designer sunglasses, and that unmistakable Mediterranean swagger. Stepping off AC 130 like they own the place. They're here for a joint exercise with the Filipino NAVSOG, the Naval Special Operations Group. And right away, one of the Italian team leaders, a guy we'll call Captain Marco Rossi, smirks at his men and mutters loud enough for everyone to hear. These little brown guys? They're cute, like watching kids play soldier. This is going to be over before lunch. The NAVSOG operators overhear it. They don't say a word. They just smile. And that smile? That's the kind of smile that tells you someone's about to get absolutely demolished. What happened next wasn't just a training exercise, it was a massacre. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly how a bunch of arrogant Italians walked into Manila thinking they were gods, and left with their egos and body bags. You're not going to want to miss a single second of this story. Stick around till the end, because the final moment of that exercise is going to leave your jaw on the floor. Let's set the stage properly. The year is 2019. The event, Balikatan 2019, the largest annual joint military exercise between the United States and the Philippines. But this year, Italy sent a detachment of COMSUBIN, Commando Subacquei ed Incursori, the Italian Navy's elite frogmen. Think of them as the Italian version of the U.S. Navy SEALs. They've got a storied history. They train with the British Special Boat Service. They've done ops in Somalia, Libya, Afghanistan. They're tough, they're professional. And they know it.so when they got invited to participate in a small side event. A friendly head-to-head with the Philippine Navy's NAVSOG. They saw it as a vacation. A chance to show off, maybe teach the locals a thing or two, then go back to Positano with some stories about how they dominated the third world team. Meanwhile, the NAVSOG operators? They didn't say much. They just prepared, because they knew something the Italians didn't. They knew the jungle. They knew the water. They knew the heat. And most importantly, they knew how to turn arrogance into a weapon. Day 1. Arrival and introductions. The Italians roll up in their rented vans, blasting Italian rap, wearing Oakley shades and matching black tactical caps. They step out, chests puffed, shaking hands like they're doing the Filipinos a favor just by showing up. Captain Rossi, the team leader, is the loudest. He walks up to the NAVSOG commander, a quiet guy named Lieutenant Commander Reyes, and says, "Commander, we're here to make this interesting for you. Don't worry, we'll go easy." Reyes just nods politely. The NAVSOG guys behind him exchange glances. One of them whispers, 7 days, 0.7 wins. They already had the score in their heads. The first event, 10-kilometer ocean swim with full combat gear, followed by a 5-kilometer beach run, then a timed obstacle course in the water. Standard special forces stuff. The Italians are confident. COMSUBIN trains in the Mediterranean, cold, rough seas. They line up at the beach, flexing, taking selfies. The NAVSOG guys? They're already in the water, floating calmly, looking like they're on vacation. One Italian jokes, "Look at them. They're probably scared of sharks." Rossi laughs. Big mistake. They're ahead by a good 200 meters. Rossi is shouting encouragement, slapping his men on the back. Then, around kilometer 3, something strange happens. The NAVSOG team starts closing the gap. Not slowly, quickly. By kilometer 5, they're neck and neck. By kilometer 7, the NAVSOG guys are pulling away. The Italians are gasping, cramping, fighting the current. The Filipinos, they're gliding. Smooth, efficient. They finish the swim 12 minutes ahead of the Italians. Then they run the 5K beach run in boots and full gear like it's a casual jog. The Italians stumble in, some of them puking on the sand. Rossi's face is red, not from the sun. Score, NAVSOG 1, COMSUBIN 0. The Italians brush it off. First day jitters, Rossi says. We'll get them tomorrow. Day 2, close quarters battle, CQB, house clearing. A mock village built on the base. Rubber bullets, simunition, full gear. The Italians are in their element. They've done this 1,000 times in training. They go first. They move like a textbook, stacked up, P&G corners, flashbangs, perfect entry. They finish the course in 4 minutes 12 seconds. They're proud, They high-five each other. Then the NAVSOG team steps up. They don't talk. They just move. Silent. Smoothed at no wasted motion. They clear the house in 3 minutes 38 seconds. The Italians' jaws drop. One of the NAVSOG guys, a petty officer named Santos, walks past Rossi and says quietly, "You left a lot of bodies behind." "We don't." Score. NAVSOG 2, COMSUBIN 0. Now the Italians are getting annoyed. Rossi starts talking trash in the mess hall that night. They're cheating. They know the layout. This is their home field. His men nod, but you can see doubt creeping in. Day 3, jungle survival and long-range patrol. 72-hour exercise in the Sierra Madre Mountains. Live fire, navigation, evasion, seer, survival, evasion, resistance, escape. The Italians are cocky again. They've done the Alps, the Dolomites. They think the jungle is just hot. Wrong. The Italians get lost twice on the first day. They run out of water on the second day because they didn't account for the humidity. By day 3, they're exhausted, dehydrated, and arguing with each other. The NAVSOG team? They complete the patrol, set up a perfect ambush on the enemy, role players, and extract without a single casualty. They even bring back fruit for the instructors. The Italians stumble into the exfil point 8 hours late. Rossi's uniform is torn. His face is covered in mud and shame. Score. NAVSOG 3, COMSUBIN 0. Now the Italians are starting to get angry. They accuse the Filipinos of sandbagging. They demand a rematch on a level playing field. The NAVSOG commander just smiles and says, "Tomorrow is the big one. The 7-event gauntlet. You sure you still want to play?" The Italians say yes. Big mistake. Day 4, the gauntlet. 7 events in one day. Combat diving, underwater navigation and sabotage. Helicopter fast rope insertion and extraction. Sniper shoot-off. Hand-to-hand combat tournament. Long-range marksmanship. Urban assault with live fire. Final event. A 12-hour no-holds-barred capture the flag in total darkness. Jungle and urban combined. The Italians win the first event. Barely. They're good at diving. The NAVSOG team takes the next 6. One after another. In the sniper shoot-off, the Filipino shooter hits a moving target at 1,200 meters in 40-knot winds. The Italian misses at 800. In hand-to-hand, a 5 feet 8 inches NAVSOG operator named Corporal Tan puts 2 Italians on the ground in under 30 seconds. He doesn't even break a sweat. Rossi watches, stunned. Then, in the final event, the 12-hour capture the flag, the NAVSOG team doesn't just win. They humiliate. They capture the Italian flag 5 times. The Italians capture theirs 0 times. The NAVSOG guys set up decoys, traps, fake trails. They played chess while the Italians were playing checkers. When the horn blows at the end, the NAVSOG team stands on the hill with both flags. They don't cheer. They just look down at the Italians, who are sprawled on the ground, exhausted, defeated. Rossi walks up to Lieutenant Commander Reyes. He tries to shake his hand. Reyes takes it, but he doesn't smile. He just says, "Next time, bring your A game." This was embarrassing. Then he turns and walks away. The Italians are left standing there in silence. The score, NAVSOG 7, COMSUBIN 0. The Italians flew home the next day. They didn't talk much on the plane. Rossi deleted all his social media posts about the trip. COMSUBIN never lived it down. NAVSOG, they became legends. Not because they bragged, but because they let their performance do the talking. And here's the craziest part. None of this was about race. None of it was about East versus West. It was about respect. The Italians came in thinking they were better. The Filipinos came in knowing they were better. And they proved it, quietly, professionally, devastatingly to us. Oh, the next time someone tells you that size or money or history makes you superior, remember the NAVSOG versus COMSUBIN. Remember the 7-0. Because in the end, arrogance is the only enemy you can't outrun. Hey, if you made it this far and you're still breathing after that story, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications. Because we've got more stories like this coming. Real ones, fictionalized ones. All of them designed to keep you glued to your screen. We're building a community of people who love military history, epic comebacks, and the moments that prove heart beats everything else. So subscribe now, and let's keep the stories coming. Now, let's go deeper. Because the 7-0 wasn't just a fluke. There's a reason the NAVSOG guys were able to do what they did. Let me break it down for you. First, training environment. The NAVSOG operators train every day in the exact same conditions they fought in. 40 degrees Celsius heat, 0.95% humidity. Jungles full of leeches, snakes, and malaria. The Italians? They train in Sardinia. Beautiful beaches, cool breezes. They're not used to the jungle sucking the life out of them every step. That alone was a massive advantage. Second, mindset. The Filipinos have a saying, "Bahala na." It means leave it to fate, but it also means I'm going to do my job no matter what. They don't complain, they don't quit. They just execute. The Italians? They're used to being the best. When things go wrong, they get frustrated. Frustration leads to mistakes. Mistakes lead to losses. Third, cultural intelligence. The NAVSOG guys knew how to read the Italians. They saw the swagger, they heard the trash talk, and they used it. They let the Italians overextend, get cocky, make assumptions, then they struck. It's the oldest trick in the book. Let your enemy defeat himself. Fourth, experience. A lot of NAVSOG operators have real combat experience. Mindanao, Zamboanga, Marawi City. That they've fought actual terrorists. They've been shot at, they've lost friends. The Italians? Great operators. But most of their experience is training or peacekeeping. There's a difference between training and war. And the NAVSOG guys had both. And finally, pride. Not the arrogant kind. The quiet kind. The kind that says, "You think you're better than me? Watch this." That pride turned a training exercise into a lesson that will be remembered for decades. Now, let's talk about the aftermath. Because this story didn't just end with the exercise. The Italians went home and actually changed their training. They started incorporating more jungle and tropical scenarios. They reached out to NAVSOG for joint training. And guess what? They got it. The second year, the Italians came back humble. They listened, they learned, and they got better. Respect was earned, not given. The NAVSOG guys, they never bragged. They didn't post videos. They didn't write books. They just went back to work, protecting their country, training harder, staying quiet. And that, my friends, is what real operators look like. So next time you see someone acting arrogant, remember the 7-0. Remember that the universe has a way of balancing things out. And remember that the quiet ones, they're usually the most dangerous. All right, we're at the end of this epic tale. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want more insane military stories, true ones, fictionalized ones, all of them packed with drama and lessons, subscribe and turn on the bell. We've got a whole series coming on special forces rivalries, epic underdog wins, and the moments that change everything. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Until next time, stay humble, stay dangerous, and never underestimate the quiet guy in the corner. This is your host, signing off. See you in the next one.